I think the best place he got in the power ranking of Monterrey was about 20th, last, I think in 2019. So yeah, these are great players, and well, it's Roy against Greninja. I don't know how great the recovery options are gonna be because that water from Greninja is gonna push you away.
Yeah, Greninja. I was exactly thinking about that. Greninja has a weird advantage in this matchup, which in fact you just mentioned it. That the capabilities that Greninja has in order to gimp, contest, even thwart recoveries, especially with a character with such I would like to say poor recovery, because even though he has an active hitbox, I'm talking about Roy, even though he has a hitbox on his way up, if you gimp him, if you trade with him, the range that he has on his recovery is not the best of them. It's especially not the best within the sortie. So I'm a little curious as to whether what's going to happen when it comes to recovering in terms of Roy here trying to come back to the stage, considering how mobile Greninja actually is and how easy it is for him to recover, even going all the way down off the stage. I assume that's what we're going to see here from Ripka. I would love to see that because you don't see Greninjas that often on set. I know we have a lot of prominent ones, but you don't get to see them too often. Whereas Roy, it's a little bit more of a rush down sorry that a lot of people use in beautiful tilt, punishing Ripka, catching him a little unprepared for that DI and getting the stock quite early, or at least unexpectedly.
I did not expect this to happen either. Yes, I do agree that it is kind of unexpected. But there's the thing that I was just talking about earlier.
Beautiful.
That water from the upbeat. Greninja has such a great tool.
Yeah, but not only that, like Ripka was ready for it. Like not only the tool that he has, also the recognition that Ripka is bringing to the table, and being ready for that situation where he was, okay, listen, he's going to recover high. I better squirt him a little. I better do my water gun there in order to push him a little bit to the side, a la Squirtle, just like that, punishing Yayon off the stage and forcing him to miss his recovery. And again, in this second stock, even though things are looking slightly even percentage-wise, we know that Roy, not only how burst and how explosive he is, also the raw damage if he catches Greninja by the ledge. We know that Greninja is very lightweight. He might be able to steal a stock insanely early. It all depends on how prepared Ripka is in order to avoid these situations, or if Ripka instead is going to abuse the fact that he can pressure Yayon and with Roy here off the stage with incredible amounts of advantage.
Yeah, the advantage states for Greninja especially, well for Ripka, I think are going to be the best in terms of damage dealing, but the problem here, at least from what I see, is that Ripka is more so trying to download Yayon Wick, I think, because he is moving around the stage a lot more than he's actually trying to go into the offensive. He has yet to really take stage control from Yayon Wick. Even when Greninja gets underneath the platform in Smash build, that if you control the bottom of the platform, you really control the stage. He doesn't spend that much time there until now that he gets an edge guard, and now he's starting to capitalize, so it's a really patient game where he's really trying to get Yayon to approach him and, get risky options through. And Yayon, the classic Roy metagame that, throw your tilts, throw your jabs, eventually they will hit. And he has dealt a lot of damage to Ripka that way, but Ripka is more so trying to play it patiently, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I have to agree. It seems that both players are trying to fish for habits more than actual confirms or strings or anything like that. I haven't seen Yayon do a lot of bread and butters. Again, getting two stocks with the same tilt. However, that was a little more unavoidable because it was very close to the ledge. And yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of strings. I don't know if this is because of how the characters are built. Both are fast fallers, beautiful forward air there from Ripka getting the stock and evening things out. As I was saying, I don't know if this is because the characters are both fast fallers or, well, Greninja is a little bit more floaty and he has insane jump distance. I think he's the second one after Falco with this jump height. So again, we're going to see a lot of Greninja moving around, as you mentioned, and I would like to see a little bit more of aggression when it comes to it, because Greninja has insane combo potential and the strengths that you can bring up. if you have real good control on the character, are just, I can only compare them to Sheik. I don't know, from Melee, or even Smash Ultimate. Sheik
Yeah.
is such a good character for that.
And actually, in Smash 4, people call Greninja Lesser Sheik, or, you know, Beta Sheik or something, because of how much,
Understandably so, yeah.
because of how many nerfs he got. But still, I mean, the concept still applies. The close quarters combat is great for Greninja. And I think that's also why Ripka has to wait for Yayon Wick to commit, because the sword really does interrupt quite a lot of Greninja's options. And here in the edgeguard, though, Ripka constantly wins big, misses the up B edgeguard here, but still, it's about sending a message as well. Like, Yayon has to mix up his recovery if he wants to make it back to the stage, because Ripka is not making that easy, but neither is this ledge trapping from Yayon. That's actually one of the better things that he has in his game, and he has dealt a lot of damage with that as well.
Yeah, Yayon has to respect Ripka's edge guarding potential, because it's huge, especially against Roy, which has such a predictable recovery. And Ripka, I would say he's doing a really good job at conditioning Yayon in certain ways of recovery. But again, they're just being insanely patient. They're trying to find the mistake, and Ripka finally getting there, catching Yayon on that forward tilt with his forward air in return. Beautiful win here by Ripka. I would like to say that it was a little bit too patient. But I understand why. As you mentioned, Roy has insane damage output, and Greninja wants none of that. He wants to stay away. He wants to make the most out of every interaction, because we know that Roy will, and he will punish if you're not careful, if you're too mashy, if you're not patient enough. Roy will punish you, and Roy will capitalize on those interactions. And Ripka here playing a little bit more conservative, as you mentioned, more jumping around, trying to gauge his opponent and download, as you mentioned, the habits, how to punish and how to catch him. Which I would like to say that the best approach or best aggression that Ripka can put out here is especially off stage, because how well he is slowly adapting. Let's see if for game number 2, Ripka does even better at edge guarding, or if Yayon makes any changes here in order to secure his recovery.
Yeah, the recovery really is the biggest thing that Ripka can capitalize off of. And the stage control, I would like to point out once more. I mean, Yayon Wick was really comfortable in the center stage, but I also did not see Ripka approaching that much. He would rather play this bait and switch game instead of approaching, because of the sword again. And really, it worked wonders for Ripka. He did take a lot of damage, but in the end, I think he never really played that scared, because he knew he had the tools to prevent Yayon from approaching, as much as he had the tools for those edge guards where he could really start capitalizing, and you saw him struggle off stage, of course. And by the way, not many people know this now that it's in the ultimate metagame, but Ripka used to play Charizard in Smash 4, and he was one of the better players there as well. Ranked nationally and all. I don't remember if he played Greninja. But we are going back to Smashville. It's a good stage for Roy. I mean, I see why Yayon wanted to come back here, and also I see why Ripka did not want to ban it. He still has a solid game plan around it. I just think if he spent more time underneath that platform, he would win a lot more interactions.
Yeah, Ripka does benefit a lot from this stage in particular, because of how good Greninja is at moving. Basically allowing his jump height, allowing him to just hop across the platform, mix up his approaches, and pretty much use it as a protection tool, which he has to in order to stay alive with the oppression that Roy can put out and the aggression as well. The damage is just insane. So he has to play around quite a lot, especially in this matchup. He's being very patient, being very cautious when it comes to attacking, but he's also very, I would like to say, it might sound weird, but he's committing a lot. Even though he's jumping and he's trying to avoid, as you mentioned, baiting, he's committing a lot when he finally goes in. Like he's putting out aggression just like this, and confirming with an insane backer there by Ripka, doing a phenomenal job at catching Yayon on his way up, and making it a little harder for him to even react when it comes to offstage gameplay.
The reaction thing is really important. You just saw how Yayon tried to go for the neutral B to frame and it did not hit. Of course, the timing is really complicated, but yeah, the reaction playstyle that Yayon has to play here, especially against Greninja, is gonna be pretty difficult. Greninja in general has some fast options that's not really that easy to react to. The neutral air, usually it seems that you could react to easily, but it's such a great combo starter for Greninja that it just works at times, and especially online, you have to train a lot against this character to know when to press your buttons. And Yayon is still struggling. You see it in the percent that Ripka has, and the fact that he still has his very first stock. So Yayon, I think the punishing that he had last game is not present here anymore. Ripka adapted to the movement as well, and that's very important.
Yeah, John is struggling a little to find strings. It's the most notable thing that I'm catching on, and probably Ripka already did as well, catching on the fact that Yayon is struggling to confirm and to string attacks together. Finally catching that first stock of Ripka with that up smash a little too late, I would say, or I would. It sounds a little negative, but I think it's a little too late in order to catch those situations. I would like to see a little bit more of a neutral success when it comes to Yayon in this particular matchup, because Ripka is just bouncing around, hopping, avoiding all the aggression that Yayon is putting out, and he's just getting punished by all of these situations, just like that, getting another stuck with the forward air, catching him in a situation where he was trying to put aggression out, but instead lost because of that same aggression. Ripka is doing a phenomenal job here with the jab locks, a drag down in the jab locks, trying to go for the edge guard, and for the counter, even I would guess he was going to try to spike into this counter. Greninja's counter is insanely unpredictable, so you really don't know what to expect when it comes to it, but I guess he was trying to catch the up B, which it's a very fair guess from Ripka's there.
Yeah, the guessing game is also on the side of the Guadalajara player. And Yayon, when it comes to guessing, I really don't see him having that many options. Of course, he keeps going for those up airs, trying to catch Ripka approaching, but Ripka's approaches have been so significantly different that those guesses just become like betting in a freaking casino. Yayon really has no way to read Ripka's trajectories or his patterns, because there are not that many to read into, and you see it still in the huge differential of the damage dealt. Ripka living with percentage advantage, and now with the 2-stock completed, Yayon, it seemed like as time went on, Yayon was losing more and more options, and Greninja, Ripka just getting control to himself. Amazing work from him.
Yeah, it was a beautiful counter finish there. Greninja